is Wednesday, December 1, 2021. I'm Pastor Michael, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Our text is from Luke 1. Once, when Zechariah's division was on duty and he was serving as priest before God, he was chosen by lot, according to the custom of the priesthood, to go into the temple of the Lord and burn incense. And when the time for the burning of incense came, all the assembled worshippers were praying outside. Then an angel of the Lord appeared to him, standing at the right side of the altar of incense. Verses 8 through 11. There had been many ordinary priestly days for Zechariah. Twice each year he traveled to the temple to fulfill his duties as a priest before God, a week each time. How many years had it been? How many trips had he made? He had lost count. Every day was ordinary. In those days, Israel had priests aplenty, so many in fact, that some never got to do that one thing all those ordinary priests wanted to do. 3 times each day, the Israelites gathered in the temple courts to pray. The first and third were accompanied with the morning and afternoon incense offering. A priest would be chosen by lot for each occasion. You could only be chosen once. There were so many priests that some never got chosen. Some died, never having poured the incense on the altar fire. On this day, which began with ordinary priestly duties, Zechariah was chosen to pour the incense on the altar. Finally, after all these years, God had chosen him. This was a most important moment in his life. The other priests helped him prepare the spice and bring it into the holy place. Then, once the others had retreated, leaving him alone, and the temple president had given the signal, Zechariah poured the incense. Outside, the praying people waited. When they saw the white smoke from the incense rising up to God, they bowed down, spread out their hands in silent prayer, and for 3 holy minutes there was silence in the center of this bustling city. And the people waited. They waited for the chosen priest to come out and bless them for the night. They waited. They got restless. He wasn't coming. Something was amiss. If only they had known. For Zechariah, the ordinary was no longer. God had come. This old priest tarried long because inside the temple an angel stood between the altar and the candlesticks. This is how the story of Christ's birth begins. In the days when Herod the godless was king, Israel's God shows up. He briefly interrupted the very ordinary events of Jewish life. While the people were doing what they did every day, twice a day, God's angel appears. God still had need of old Zechariah. It was time for salvation, and God needs Zechariah. While our visits from God may not be as dramatic as Zechariah's, they are just as personal. The acts of our piety may have become empty rituals. We may be filled with cynicism and despair, not at all convinced that God cares. Luke boldly asserts no matter how dry and barren our world or our souls may feel today, salvation is in the works. Yesterday, Pastor Anthony spoke of death coming into our lives in many forms. Today's text offers us the hope of the gospel. There was nothing unusual about that day when God showed up. Zechariah, the other priests, and the whole crowd gathered outside were doing very ordinary things when the angel appeared. This text invites us to open our eyes, to look up, to expect God to come with the words of life. Today, or tomorrow, as you go about the ordinary events of the day, accompany them with prayer. Let them rise like the white smoke from the altar of incense, and live with expectation. God is still in the business of showing up. He is still working out his salvation. Watch for it. As you journey on, go with the blessing of God. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you wherever he may send you. May he guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May he bring you home rejoicing at the wonders he has shown you. May he bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors.